in your training, I know you're coaching a lot of athletes, including the elites at like the hybrid engine. It's quite it's quite varied training. It's not necessarily Hyrox specific training that you're doing. Um, do you feel like that's important, like for Hyrox performance, or is it just because you like doing a variety of events that you do it like that? Can you, yeah, how do you think about that sort of side of things?
Um, for sure I enjoy it, but I do think it's important. Like, even if I didn't enjoy it, I would make myself do it because I think it's important. I think, Hyrox is a very well-rounded event, but it still doesn't encompass everything that makes you a well-rounded athlete. And to get better at some of the Hyrox movements, I don't think we should be just pounding those Hyrox movements. I do think that you need to do other things that will then translate and make you better at certain high rocks movements. For example, like a burpee broad jump. Like, sure, you can do burpees all day long, but that's not always going to be making you better at the burpee broad jump. There's so much power associated with that movement that things like power cleans, dumbbell snatches, box jumps, things that are power based will help make you better for that movement, even though like none of those things involved a burpee. Like, it's the power associated with, like, how far can you jump? What is your reaction time off of the ground? Like, can you get down and up really quickly? Like, you could reduce your I'm short, so not me, but, like, you could reduce your amount of burpees that you're doing from, like, 46 to 40 just by being able to jump further.
Mhm.
And that will save a ton of time because the motion and the time that it takes to get down and up, even if you're fast at it, like, is very time consuming.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Is there anything specific you're working on in your training, or has like anything got focus in your training that you're working on for the upcoming season?
so I really want to get better at my lunges, like, specifically. Um, it's towards the end of the race, so there's, like, less moves being made there, but I don't wanna lose a ton of time either. Um And what I found interesting was when I compare my open time on the lunges to my pro time, it was actually really fast. So, it's not that I'm not capable of that speed. It just seems to be like I slow down significantly once you add weight. So, like, I'm playing around with trying to figure out, like, how can I continue to keep that speed up when the weight is heavier?
Okay.
So that's, like, one of the areas for sure that I'm trying to work on and figure out,
Okay.
besides, of course, trying to get better overall, but that's a very specific one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, so we touched on like injuries and injury prevention, but like again, it's relatively high volume training. But how do you think about avoiding overtraining, or how do you make sure you avoid overtraining? Like, are you using any technology? Are you looking at your HRV? Are you doing anything like that to try and like make sure you don't get to that point?
Um, I do monitor my HRV. I not necessarily for overtraining, but I do monitor it, and it could be a signal. I also monitor my resting heart rate. I look at, like, my quality of sleep. So, again, like, our technology isn't necessarily entirely accurate, but it's pretty close. So I can look at, what it's telling me in terms of, like, how long was I in deep sleep? How long was I in REM? How long was I awake? And or light sleep and kind of playing with, like, the different percentages and ratios of that, like, kinda gives me an idea as well. Um, but at the end of the day, I think, like, what helps me avoid because I am doing a lot, as are the athletes that I'm training, as are a lot of the athletes that are following our program. Um, but we do a lot of not high intensity work. I think it's the high intensity that often leads to, like, more overtraining syndromes. Not that you can't overtrain with just low intensity, but it is a lot harder to do. And I think that's helped me like tremendously. One, stay consistent, but two, be able to like continue to grow over the years because yes, like you might be able to like hit a stimulus, um, and get better quickly with some high intensity pieces, but you're also way, way, way more likely to burn out, and you might have an injury. You're more likely to have a bigger injury, which then you're not consistent, and that's what's taking away from growth. So I think, yes, I monitor like all these measurements, but at the end of the day, I think the thing that like helps me stave off overtraining the most is not going hard all the time. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
going hard not like, very rarely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess maybe, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but you've had a lifetime of training as well. Like you've trained a lot. You've been very good for many years, and I guess you're in a better position to cope with that sort of volume than someone that's just only been training a couple of years as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I even remember being in high school and, like, watching the news, like, in the summer, and they were interviewing do you know who Mario Lopez is?
No.
He's some American actor, but I was in high school and they were interviewing him, and he talked about how no matter what, just to make sure he got something in every day, he ran 5 miles in the morning. And I remember thinking like, "Wow, that is so far." He runs 5 miles every day. Like, it's all perspective because, like, to me, like, that was huge. I couldn't imagine doing that and then also being able to do something else. But this is like what God, I'm old, 25 years ago now, like, um, I also started training and I wasn't training in the beginning the way I'm training now, I wasn't even training, like, 7 years ago the way that I'm training now, like, it's constantly developing and things are constantly changing, like, every year and, kind of figuring out what works and building on and trying to stay as consistent as possible.